Did Ryan Reynolds ditch Blake Lively premiere of Another Simple Favor to save his own career?
They will pair for that a million different ways. They will tell us what they can and cannot ask. Her PR firm will only walk her up to certain friendly journalists.
Put an end to everything. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are directly at the center of a hidden Marvel scandal that Chris Evans recently revealed. Yes, you heard correctly. The golden couple of Hollywood is facing criticism for allegedly masterminding a Marvel hoax so ludicrous that it could ruin their impeccable reputation. Who do you think is dropping the receipts? Captain America himself. Blake Lively has been accused of being the leader of a cunning plot that lurks in the MCU's shadows, hidden behind the smiles and red carpet glamour.
Insiders are spilling on the real reason Ryan Reynolds left Blake Lively alone on the red carpet amid the Anna Kendrick beef, and it's all about money.
She did it, but why? All in an attempt to take over the Marvel spotlight. Her purported motivation is her avaricious desire for Marvel's wealth and fame. It's all in this shocking revelation. Betrayals, leaked texts, and covert transactions, and we have only just begun. Was Ryan actually called into the MCU by America's sweetheart? Or is there a more significant twist in the works?
Several other actors attended premieres at South by without their spouses or significant others. I mean, one, why are you responding?
These receipts are going to rock Hollywood to its foundations, so grab some popcorn. You do not want to miss this, I assure you. In an attempt to silence her detractors and remind the world of her star power, Blake Lively returned to the red carpet for what should have been a pivotal moment in her career. Rather, it turned into one of the most embarrassing evenings of her life.
Blake attended with her cast and films and had a great time. Several other actors attended premieres at South by without their spouses or significant others.
She expected to be admired, for the cameras to love her as they always had, and for the business to accept her as though nothing had changed. But in reality, everything had changed. From the beginning, the energy was off. The enthusiasm had vanished, but the photographers continued to take their shots.
You're clearly unnerved. You didn't even need to respond. It's like, I wasn't that surprised that Ryan there. It wasn't his movie.
Even Blake, with her years of media training, could not deny the weight of the atmosphere, the tight grins she received, and the stilted engagement. Then there was the demonstrator, holding a sign that said, "Justice for Justin Baldoni," outside the event. Blake told a falsehood.
It was weird that Ryan was there and it ends with us. If he shows up to every one of our movies that has nothing to do with, I think it would be worse reaction. I do.
This was not a frustrated fan or a casual heckler. It was far worse than this. An outward display of the animosity that had been simmering for months, a frontal assault on her credibility. Hollywood is based on deception, but the reality that was written in bold letters outside that premiere could not be erased by charm or strategically placed smiles. Blake had spent months trying desperately to make the chaos around her seem unreal.
So I can't fault him not showing up. The fact that he's responding is interesting. It shows they're paying attention, they're unnerved.
She had continued to act as though maintaining appearances would be sufficient to repair the harm, despite the legal turmoil, the PR nightmare, the consequences from her battle with Baldoni, and the reports of a broken relationship with Ryan Reynolds. She appeared certain that Hollywood would comply, that the industry would once more submit to her authority and let her control the story, but Hollywood had stopped paying attention. She was betrayed by the industry.
I stand by my report, and be prepared. Demand at the messenger that I told you, Anna Kendrick, not very nice either.
Worst of all, the people she had once referred to as friends, supporters, and co-workers were making it very evident that they no longer wanted to be linked with her, and the media was no longer fabricating tales to support her. When her co-star and long-standing industry colleague Anna Kendrick was asked about her experience working with her again, it was the last straw.
Blake Lively's done awful things, Justin, and needs to pay the price in court. We'll find it out. But I'm trying to warn you is, only Anna's no angel either.
It was the type of softball inquiry that, even when the truth is far from pleasant, Hollywood actors automatically grin and respond with a prepared response. Kendrick, however, didn't even act. For words that were more powerful than any tabloid expose or public crisis. There was no attempt at decency, no warmth.
Get your ego in check. All you actors, get your egos in check. Yeah, I'm going to call out actors who have way too big of an ego.
Another Blake co-star, Henry Golding, was questioned about his experience getting back together with the ensemble. His answer was rife with irony. What might go wrong? That grin, that scarcely disguised remark. The public needed no more assurance than that. Blake Lively was having trouble more than simply keeping up her appearance. The industry had grown weary of her, and she was deliberately losing the respect of the very individuals who needed to support her.
My guess is she's not going to bring him because he's almost more disliked than he is, and that her promo game is just to pretend that she's really scared of the public when she was the person who wanted all of this to be publicized because she was confident in her power and her husband's power.
The most prosperous celebrities in Hollywood preserve their influence through connections, relationships, and carefully constructed networks of reciprocal advantage. However, those alliances were breaking down, and Blake's reputation had turned poisonous. Once a fan of hers, the fashion industry was now avoiding her.
Blake Lively apparently fought for top billing in his film. And these are things that we can consider as the public. Even when you see a movie poster, that's a fight between people. Who's going to be on the movie poster? Who's going to present it as a star of this film?
The high-end companies that had previously used her as the face of their advertising were discreetly severing their connections. She was a financial risk, according to Hollywood agents who were encouraging studios not to cast her. Observing the tensions surrounding her, producers decided not to get involved. Furthermore, it was impossible to overlook the fissures even at South by Southwest, where she had attempted to restore some semblance of normalcy.
And now that we know that Lively is quite aggressive in general during these movie negotiations, it was revealed that she was similarly aggressive about this in favor too, and she wanted to be featured prominently.
No one was duped even though she signed autographs, waved to fans, and flashed her trademark flawless grin. Blake Lively was no longer in charge. Being the cool, collected, unreachable leading lady was the foundation of her entire career, creating the appearance of easy grace. However, illusions are only effective when individuals are prepared to believe in them. And Blake Lively had lost all credibility. It was hardly the glorious moment she had longed for, the premiere of another small favor. It was something else. A public acknowledgement that the industry was removing her. This was more than a brief setback. She couldn't resolve the small dispute with a well-timed interview or a carefully thought-out public presence. Something was coming to an end.
They will prepare for a million different ways. They will journalists what they can and cannot ask. Her PR and will only walk her to certain friendly journalists.
The most prosperous celebrities in Hollywood preserve their influence through connections, relationships, and carefully constructed networks of reciprocal advantage. However, those alliances were breaking down, and Blake's reputation had turned poisonous. Once a fan of hers, the fashion industry was now avoiding her.
So this apprehension is kind of, like I said, trying to make people feel bad. And I think kind of perfect karma that now this apparent friction between her and Anna Kendrick, friction with her co-star, she wants Blake Lively to address her ongoing battle with Baldoni.